Hey guys, Jay Kilroy here, back in the shop for a little shop ADHD number 19. We got viewer mail, we got project updates, we've got some new tooling acquisitions, we got the bandsaw running in the background, so if you hear a background kind of noise, this is work's going on, buddy. Work's going on. It's busy around the shop. First thing we're going to hit out with is some tooling acquisitions. I got some more great deals on some carbide roughers here. 1-inch 5 flute Niagara carbide rougher, fine tooth. That's a big old chunk of carbide. There's some good deals out there if you find them. Learn how to use automatic searches. That's all I'm going to tell you. Also, bought an interesting item that I want to go over. I've been looking at this thing online and on eBay for a while, thinking, you know, that looks kind of neat. Never bought it. So finally I just broke down and bought this item here. And we're going to kind of have a little unboxing and talk about it a little bit. And then maybe in Shop ADHD 20, we'll actually sit down and put this thing to use and try it out and kind of do maybe an in-use review. What it is, it's the AMCAT Products Quadrallel. It's a parallel of sorts for use in a milling machine vise that allows you to hold items that aren't square. So let's get this baby on out. Never been unpacked before. No idea what I'm getting myself into. Well packed. I mean, nicely packed, and there's no documentation in here. I guess they figure you know what you're doing. It's not like it's got moving parts. And here I'll show you basically how it works. So it works in multiple axes. You got these springs over here on the outside that are attached to the jaws with these pins, these cross pins on both sides. Might be a little close. And there's this ball bearing here, and the jaws are free to move on this ball bearing. It's an interesting looking product. I occasionally, like most everybody, have weird work holding situations that require me to hold irregular, odd shaped parts. And this looked like a neat little item, so thought I'd give it a try. It's looks like 4 inches wide. Yeah, right on the money. 4 inches wide and 1 5/8 inches tall, same as the jaws. So, and it is made out of hard steel. Appears to be very well made. So we'll see. I haven't just unpacked it, so I haven't exactly, put an indicator on it and see how well made it is, or if it's even capable of doing the job. But at this point, look for the link down below AMCAT products. They have not paid me or donated this product to the show. I paid full price. I have no affiliation with AMCAT other than being a customer. And like I said, here in a future video, we will, maybe even at the end of this video, we'll try to do some, put this baby to use. So let's give that a go. Viewer mail. Got some viewer mail. 2 items here. My first item came, where's the letter? Hold on a second, the letter's over on my desk. Give me a second. Okay, my first item, items haven't been opened here, came from Rich Applebaum. Wrote me a very nice note. Had some tooling items were too large for his shop. Thought he would send them to me, see if I could put them to use. Thank you very much, Rich. Rich is launching a channel of his own, so keep an eye out for him. His YouTube ID is Chipmaker 1066. Chipmaker 1066. Keep an eye out for Rich, and he'll be posting some videos up soon and joining the YouTube machining community. So let's see what Rich, in his generosity, was nice enough to send. Thank you very much, Rich. These personal gifts are just blow me away. Really do. Always do. Oh, nice. Nice. What we got here is a 15/16 core drill. You might not be familiar with core drills. See that baby right there? Core drill is the actual type of drill you're supposed to use when you are enlarging an existing hole. You notice it doesn't really, I mean, it has this big flat section in the center. It isn't designed to start a new hole. This is designed to drill out an existing hole. This is a 15/16 3 flute, and it's Cleveland forge with a Morse Taper 3 shank, so high-speed steel. Definitely a handy item. I have quite a few core drills and use them all the time. They are very handy. Thank you very much, Rich. Moving on here, more goodness here. By the way, I gotta say, Rich, I really appreciate your abusing of the Postal Service's packing material. I do. High-speed steel tool bit. Looks like this was originally a 5/8 square, and I was right. Got a nice grind on it, actually. It's not a parting blade type grind, probably a grooving grind or just a regular cutting grind. And don't know what that back for. The back was maybe a form tool. See if you can see that radius there. Back was maybe ground as a form tool. Always like high-speed steel, and big high-speed steel can take a while. You start from a fresh blank of a 5/8 square, high-quality tool bit, and let's say you want to grind a 6-degree threading tool. It can take you an hour, right? Unless you use some of the tricks that I outlined in a video I did a long time ago on grinding high-speed steel bits. Some of my tricks are using roughing it out with a 9-inch side grinder, like stuff like that. So keep, you know, it's a lot of metal to remove, and that stuff's hard. So anyway, here we go. Look at this little milling cutter. No real marks that I can discern. Still packed in wax. I believe this is actually a piloted counterbore, and this is the hole for the pilot, replaceable pilot. I use a lot of piloted counterbores. pull one out so you can see kind of what I'm talking about here. So this is a piloted counterbore. This is the aircraft style, they call it, piloted counterbore, with a removable pilot here. Loosen this set screw and the shank on the pilot comes out. This is, I believe, a 5/8 size and 3/4 size, excuse me, with a 5/8 pilot. And anyway, I use a lot of these. I believe this is a piloted counterbore, but without the little aircraft style shank. And there are no markings, and I'm not gonna chisel the wax off right at the moment just to see what's down in there, but and these look like milling cutters or slitting saws. Look at that. That is one mean looking item there. 1¼ inch shank, 1¼ inch arbor. This is I'm gonna say it's a 3/32 cut width. Again, there aren't any markings on it. It's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 24 teeth. I believe it's high-speed steel. Might be carbon steel. It could definitely be old enough to be carbon steel. At which time, if it is carbon steel, this is going to be basically relegated to soft materials, aluminum and the like. And last, but certainly not least, this feels like another milling cutter. Straight tooth. There we go. The straight tooth milling cutter. And this, the Cleveland Milling Machine Company, Cleveland, USA. And this baby's old right here. This is probably made for a specialized milling machine stack on an arbor with a bunch of other cutters. And the reason I say that is because it's made to unusual sizes. The size stamped in here is 3.937 on the OD, 0.7087 on the thickness. So this was probably part of a specialized milling stack. This is the kind of thing that was done pre-CNC days. This is where your tool grinder shops made their bread and butter, was making custom cutters for big gang milling operations on these big monstrous horizontal mills for making all sorts of machinery and other things. Definitely still sharp. I mean, very sharp. Doesn't look like it's been resharped at all. Teeth without chips. So this is a very useful item. I would use a cutter like this. There's no relief in this. This is a great slotting cutter in, say, mild steel, aluminum, some carbon steels. I wouldn't use it in stainless without some side relief. But anyway, thank you very much, Rich. Again, look for Rich's channel, Rich Applebaum at Chipmaker 1066 on YouTube. And now for a package that I was kind of expecting, and nonetheless continuously blown away by. I got a package here from Stan at Bar Z Industrial. Right off the bat, here are two of Stan's fabulously well made milling vise squares. These are the 4590 size that are specifically made for use in your 6-inch Kurt or Kurt clone style vise, or an 8-inch for that matter. This will work just fine. So let's put those down here. Stan is well renowned for his packing prowess. As seen in several videos that he has done. So we got cardboard and the shrink wrap. Or excuse me, craft paper and the shrink wrap. Got another one of Stan's Bar Z fractional charts. I've got one stuck to the Herco, and let me see. Let me swing the camera around so you can see. So if you swing around here and look at the Herco, there's one of Stan's charts right there. And if you come over to the Kearney Trekker, there's one of Stan's charts right there. So Stan's fractional charts are always handy. Got his business card here with his YouTube channel and his website, Bar Z Industrial. Very nice, very well done website, by the way. If you haven't been there, I suggest you check it out. Another chart, so this one will probably go on the Revette over here. So, but let's get down to the show here. Can't tell which side's up. Oh, yes, I can. Got his brand there. Class. That's just class. Brass. Or brass colored, a nice piano hinge, full-length piano hinge in the box. Magnetic clasp. Oh, look at that. Stan, you are an artiste, my man. Oh. Now we're talking. Oh, Stan. Oh, Stan truly is a man of some accomplishment on the grinder. He is really getting good at this. It's a beauty, just beautiful, beautiful work. I'm gonna have to rearrange my top drawer so that this can go in there, because these are definitely top drawer items. Stan, thank you very, very much. I cannot express really just how much I appreciate this. This is fantastic. Stan's squares are extremely worthwhile, extremely handy in the shop. You know, really, you know, you just got to get them out and put them to work and start, you know, using them, and then you start coming up with these ways. I was doing some work on some parts. I was milling off some 45s, just some big chamfers, and I realized when I had the square and I was trying to use the square in one way that really wasn't the way it was supposed to be used. You've got to take into consideration these little ledges on here, right? There's one on each side. So if you want 45, right, you can hang this thing off the top of the vise like so, off this back ledge, and there you have a 45-degree surface. And I just put the part right in here and just clamped the part right up against the square. It isn't going to hurt the square. The square is already hard steel, and worked fantastic. I was careful to clean the vise very carefully so that I didn't scratch the beautiful finish on my squares there, but just really handy little pieces. Just really, and very well made to work with the Kurt vise. Is exactly what they're made for. So there we go. That's the viewer mail and the tooling acquisitions of the week. Next, we're going to go over some work holding. So let me rearrange the table a little bit, and we'll move on to that. So the other day, while watching a Keith Rucker video, Keith had a really interesting vise on his channel that he uses for holding round stock. It's a self-centering style vise, and he gets a lot of questions about it. And he said many times that he does not know who made it. He does not know where it came from. You know, and I don't have that answer. I'm not here to answer that. What I wanted to share was some of the holding round stock is a common task in the shop. If you've watched any of my videos, Adam Booth's videos, Keith Finner's videos, Mr. Pete's videos, everybody has had some work holding task that involved holding round stock for various purposes: cutting flats, cutting keyways, milling, you name it. There's just a limitless number of possibilities. So I've got a couple of ways here I wanted to share with you that are not the usual V-block in a vise, right? So the first way I wanted to share with you here is the Bison pipe. I call it the Bison pipe vise. This is an item specifically designed for holding round stock. This is the smallest size that they make, 100 millimeters across the vise jaw here. They make a 120, I believe, and they make a 160, which is basically 6 inches, or a little over 6 inches. I'd love the 160. It's got to be a whole lot bigger than this. This will hold a little over 3 inches. This will hold a piece of round stock a little over 3 inches in diameter, which is plenty. It has a removable insert here that allows you to hold make it easier to hold smaller pieces. I believe you can hold down to about 10 millimeters or so, maybe even a little smaller, but I believe it's about down to 10 millimeters. And any precision that you get from this vise is from this insert, not from these jaws. The screw setup on these jaws is not something that you just use it and you can listen to this. It's a clamp, right? This is a clamping arrangement. This is your reference surface. These are not. They're just designed to hold the workpiece down to your reference surface. One thing nice about this particular unit is it's also designed to work vertically. So you can hold workpieces in this manner as well as more conventionally. If I turn it around, you can see the inner workings. Let me see if that's still in view. Yeah, let's move it up a little closer here. So there you can see the two jaws, the differential screw here, and just this little section here that indexes against this piece here. Like I said, it's not terribly, these jaws are not precision surfaces, right? This insert is the only precision surface that you're going to work with here. It is very handy. One of the reasons that that vices like this are extremely handy if you do a lot of round stock work is that it's got key slots, by the way, down the bottom for a standard 5/8 key. So this is just right on a Bridgeport or a Bridgeport style clone. If you take your vise, put this vise in the machine, take your indicator or your edge finder, indicator probably easier, and square it up off these surfaces here, these two faces here. Square it up and center it off of those surfaces so that this is centered under your, referenced using your digital readout under your spindle so that this is on the center. Then when you want to change from one size a round stock to another, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. If you're using a conventional vise like a Kurt, or a Kurt style vise, every time you change diameters, you have to readjust the center of your cutting tool for the new diameter. So if you're doing work with a lot of round stock, this type of vise is extremely handy for that reason. So this is a handy little piece. Again, this is made by Bison. New, these are ungodly expensive. It's got to be just because they haven't made a whole lot of them. Because workmanship wise, quality wise, this is a decent piece, right? If Kurt made one of these, I would expect it to be nicer, if that just kind of sums it up for you. But it's a decent piece. The 6-inch version of this vise, new, is over $1,500. The smaller versions are still all over $1,000. So it's an expensive item to buy new. If you can find them, if you can find one used, more power to you. And it is a handy item to have around. So and 3-inch stock is pretty substantial. So this is a handy item. So let's move this one out of the way, and we'll go to option 2. And this is, anybody that has information on this one, I'm all for it. Alrighty. This is a self-centering style vise that is or was made by a company called Edison. They refer to this as the Edison Model ED200 super high precision vise, 6-inch. And where the Bison might have lacked a little precision, this guy here has got it in spades. This is easily one of the most well-made vices. Probably this is the most well-made vise that I own, and that includes my relatively new Kurt 688, which I bought new. This thing is unbelievably overbuilt, and if anybody has any information on this vise, this Edison vise, and is willing to share it, I would be all for it. I've seen a couple pictures online where these were on mounted to angle bases, kind of like Kurt's, and I do not have that item, but And you can hold, if you look here at these jaws, this bugger's heavy. It's a V jaw here, but the V jaw is off center. So the center of the V is closer to the top of the jaw to allow it to open up for wider diameters. You hold wider diameters basically above, not above center, but you could expose more of the top surface of a piece of round stock than if you had, close it up here, than if you had the V centered all the way down in the vise. So this thing's extremely well made. Tell you what I'm going to do so you can get a better look at it. I'm going to extend that out there. Pick this up so you can see how the jaws, the center of the jaws are above. They're not symmetrical, basically. See the big solid bars that these two vise halves run on, and the very stout, that's at least an inch. Yeah, it's an inch by probably 4 or 5 Acme threaded rod that is the lead screw for, or the clamping screw for this vise. You got oil zerks here on both ends. A cap on this end that covers the spanner nut here that holds the whole thing together. The jaws are removable and replaceable. Everything's hardened, everything's ground. You know, a fantastic piece of engineering, no doubt. I don't know what these were originally made for, if it was just this item or if it was some specialized purpose or specialized machine. I don't know anything about the company that made them. So if anybody has the information, feel free to share with me. The vise also has some keys to key this to a 5/8 inch slot, i.e. Bridgeport. So there we go. Let's move this baby out of the way. So I'm doing some more work on the angle plates, and if you saw my previous Shop ADHD video, saw that I bought one of the Suburban Tool fly cutters. And the full setup, and I purchased 2 arbors. I did not have an arbor that fit it. I purchased a NT50 and an R8 arbor, both for the same fly cutter, so that I'll be able to use it in both my milling machines. And I'll also be able to give you, the viewers, some informed feedback over the difference, how I feel the cutter performs in machines of obviously vastly different capability, 2,500 pound Herco or a 12,000 pound Kearney Trekker. So anyway, I've been doing some work on these, on the angle plates. So let's go on to that video and let's kind of catch up on the angle plate project right now. All right, there's so much draft on this part. From the top to the bottom, there's probably nearly, there's over 1/4 of an inch of draft on the part. And I didn't want to spend all day just chewing that stuff off. So I'm just going to put it in the bandsaw here, and we're going to take as serviceably as small a cut as we can off of both ends, just to remove the bulk of the material. All right, there's cut number 2. It's pretty good finish. I mean, if you know, you got to wonder how much better than that you're going to do with an end mill, right? Watch out for the burrs. Anyway, we're going to go to the mill from here and try out our new fly cutter. All right, we're set up here on the big mill with the new fly cutter. We got our work stop. Let me pan down from our previous project in place here on the table. We've got our freshly cut angle plate here. What you can't see behind here is a strap clamp and some blocks, 3/4 inch hardware, very firmly holding this down to the table. And just to check right there, that's a very square cut. You cannot see light through that cut. So, all right, I've just been reviewing the documentation provided by Suburban Tool, and they recommend a 700 to 800 RPM on this. So we're going to start off a little low here. We're going to start off at 450. And then we're going to let it run, maybe take a light cut, and then I'm going to check all my fasteners. I'm going to go ahead and retighten all these. I'm going to retighten all these fasteners here that are holding the bar in. Check my drawbar, and then we'll take another cut. Just because this is the first time to put this thing through the ringer, so to speak. So I'm going to move over. I'm going to fire it up here. I'm going to move over, and we're going to touch off and then take about a 20 thousandths cut. Notice my cardboard. I got a big piece of cardboard back here so that the chips won't get thrown into the spindle. They get trapped down here, and I can do away with that abrasive dust. I'm over the workpiece. Now I'm going to creep it up until we touch off. There we go. I think that was it. Let's see. Yes. Move it on out. Zero my dial. Let's come up 20 thousandths. We're going to start off feeding at 4.4 inches a minute. Let's see what our finish looks like. Pretty darn good. All right, we'll go with that. Make a cut.
Ready? This is pretty much this is the exact same setup I had on the other side. All right. That is secure. Get my cardboard back in place here. Fire the mill up. We're going to go ahead and move up speed notch, 720 RPMs. And we're going to pop our feet up to 6.3. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, we're going to feed in 20 thou. Alrighty, let's try to see if we can capture that surface finish. Pretty darn good. I have to say, I have to clean it up here a little bit. A little rough spot in the casting right there in the center, but other than that, you can almost see reflection in that finish. So there's no complaining there. I'm not even using the right insert for cast iron. They supplied me with 4 of these TPG, these are 432s. They supplied me with 3 with the set, and they're all of the coated variety, which is not typically what you use for cast iron. So I don't have any others, so I'm just kind of giving it a go. So, but anyway, that surface finish is fantastic.